Hey guys, welcome to another video. I'm Mini Dan.
I'm Big Maiyah.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Tips and Tricks.
Hijacked.
Yes. Today we're going to talk you through things you need to consider when buying your first camera, a beginner's guide to picking the best camera.
Bam. So you want to get into content creation. Our guess is that you probably already know the benefits of having your own video content for your business, or that you're looking to make video content your business.
So we won't bore you with that stuff. Instead, we're going to let you know the things you have to consider when picking your first camera, a beginner's camera, but like Dan said, he's gonna input some nifty things that you can look for to just up your game that little bit more. But before we get into that, make sure you hit the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up so we know you like it even though you've not watched it, but that's what people say on YouTube, just, to do it. It can be really confusing when you're looking for a camera. I know when I started out, I was so confused with how many cameras are out there, especially lower price point ones. There's so many different things to look for and to consider. And when you're a beginner, you don't want to splash out on mad cameras, or you might be able to, but you might also not be able to. So when you're starting off, you are probably gonna want something that you can easily carry around. And if you've never really filmed before and you have a camera that's a lot of effort to take out and to take places, you're probably less likely to use it. And one of the best tips when starting out is to just film everything. Just get clips of everything, constantly be practicing, be out with your friends and just filming stuff and filming around whatever the hell you want to. So if it's light and if you can take it easily around with you, you're more likely to practice, use it and do well.
So great points in the fact that if it's a smaller camera, it's going to be less intimidating to whip out. But at the same, there's also a caveat to that. You're not going to build up your confidence in taking out a bigger camera, like a DSLR, for example. So it's got its swings and roundabouts. It's great for the fact that you can build up slowly, but there's also comes a point where you need to kind of push yourself out of the comfort zone and get a bigger camera. So I'm going to be the guy that's saying, "F you, Maiyah." You've got a valid point, but you need to see from another's perspective.
Yeah, exactly. You're coming from, we should probably explain this. You're coming from a filmmaker perspective where, you studied that at uni and stuff like that. Whereas if you're coming from a fresh beginner's outlook like me, where you kind of taught yourself and you're just doing it, and you're just taking a camera on holiday and getting some travel vlogs or whatever, and you're really interested in it, then definitely this. And then if you want to size up, like that's what I've done gradually. So I started off with this and now this is my baby. Yeah, so to go back into the point of size and weight, if you don't have the money to put into a small camera, because this was when it came out sort of like 500 quid and now it's sort of like 300-ish probably. If you don't have that, then we use our phones every day. You can use your phone to film stuff, especially if you're just starting out, like Dan is doing right now. Phones these days, the cameras are so good on them. Maybe not Dan's, not very good, but iPhones especially have great cameras. I mean, mine has 3 lenses.
Mine folds, which is cool.
Folds, right, yeah, flip phone.
Yeah, I mean, we integrate like phone footage quite a lot in our content just because it mixes it up and it makes it a bit more interesting. Oh, this is like Inception.
I know.
Where So yeah, don't overlook the fact that you can use your phone with your other footage, or just use your phone in general. Although this video is not about that, it's kind of a Viddyoze tip.
Yes. Use your phone. Start off with your phone, get comfortable with it, and don't be afraid to insert phone footage into another video. We do that in our vlogs. If you don't have your camera with you, you can insert some phone footage, it's okay. Nowadays, I feel like especially on YouTube, the vibe of videos are less perfect production videos, unless you're doing an ad or something like that. It's more about making them real, making them look like
getting
vlogs.
the message out there.
Yeah, in a really real way. People want to see things that are more real and compared to things that are just perfect all the time.
They can relate more, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Some other points that were great about this camera and some things to think about when getting your first camera is also that it has a really wide lens. which means it's really forgiving when shooting shaky things when you're starting off. We actually made a video about this.
Yeah, so check out the link somewhere. We just shot a video the other week about getting better stabilized footage. So that's got some good tricks and tips. The big one being the wide lens.
Yeah, so it's more forgiving when you're filming and you are getting used to using a camera and you might be a little bit shaky, but also a must if you're filming yourself is a flip screen so you can see yourself.
Yeah.
You want to be able to see yourself while you're filming, seeing the shot, making sure it all looks all right. So definitely make sure you have a flip screen. The one downfall I would say about this camera though is there is no input for a mic. So as you start to up your video game, you're gonna want to up your audio game as well. At first I was recording on this and just using this mic, but it's not great. It's not gonna sound good. Now when I try and do that, I compare it to actually using a mic, it just sounds so rubbish.
Yeah, rule of thumb is never capture the audio through your camera. Always do external. It's gonna sound better. It's gonna sound more professional. And audio, arguably more important than how the video looks.
Yeah.
LUMIX GH5, actually a sick camera. One that you can closely match to like proper cinema grade cameras to a degree. So I've always been a little bit of a fanboy on the quality, just not the usability.
Yeah, so this is definitely a step up and this is what I've stepped up to because the mic input. So now I can input a mic and I can have one on top, but I do actually use this.
What's the input? Is it XLR or 3.5? So it's a 3.5 jack, yeah.
What you said.
Like your headphones, it's the same size as your headphone jack.
Yeah. But anyway, so this is definitely a step up with the actual you can put in a mic. Also, better lenses. As you can see, this bad boy
That's
here.
a massive benefit of upgrading your camera to, like we said before, something that's interchangeable. Like glass is going to make the biggest impact on the quality of your footage, but also it's going to be something that sticks around a lot longer. Your camera's going to go out of date. Your lenses, if you get a good one, it's going to stick with you for years. Like this lens, like that's not going anywhere for a good 5-10 years. It's just hot. So yeah, having that ability on a smaller camera to add lenses of different sizes, massive benefit.
So that's something you definitely want to invest a little bit more in is your lenses, for sure. Also, this camera allows you to shoot RAW, which means that you are capturing as many colors as possible when shooting.
To a degree, so RAW is uncompressed footage. So it's like photography cameras shoot RAW, and they also shoot like JPEG. So that camera, it shoots RAW to a degree, but it's a very low bit rate. So if you're shooting RAW, the idea is to shoot flat, so a flat profile. So you capture more information in the highlights and the lowlights. So your shadows and your highlights have got more information, so you can manipulate it better in post. Contrast is changeable, which improves your color and your sharpness.
But don't worry about if you don't know anything about color grading, if you're just starting off. Definitely it's something to invest in learning. There's loads of videos on YouTube, but you can also download loads of free LUTs, L-U-T.
Lookup tables.
Yes, which you can just add on. You literally just drag and drop them on.
There's a fly.
You can just add onto your footage and it will just make it look.
Yeah, so
that's what I do with my vlogs.
Like a quick explanation of a lookup table or a LUT. You've got different types of LUTs. So if I'm using my red camera, I've got an output LUT, which basically the image and color profile which I'm recording in and then editing in, it converts that into the type of monitor that you're going to be viewing it on. So normally a Rec 709. It's just too much information.
I think one downfall, and I wouldn't say it's a downfall because it is something you should try and work with, but I would say it is quite heavy. So if you are filming a lot of vlogs, if you're a beginner and you want to use these cameras for vlogging, it is quite heavy to go like that for a very long time. Like mine actually hurts my arm there. I think I've got a bit of DOMS in my forearm. It is kind of heavy, so doing like long shooting like that, keep that in mind. If it's a little bit heavy, you don't want to be put off filming stuff. But other than that, it's definitely a step up and something to consider if you have a little bit more ka-ching.
Ka-ching!
So is there any cameras you want to mention from you starting out back in the day, back 50 years ago?
15 years ago. Obviously, like I said, the camera I first got was a Canon 5D Mark II, which is sick. Full frame as well, which adds a nice bit of bokeh. Interchangeable lenses, pretty ahead of its time. Also got this Canon 7D, which I only purchased because it did slow motion and the 5D didn't. But then I pretty much went on to red cameras. So I invested heavily in getting my first red camera, which was the Scarlett X, I believe. And then since then, I've pretty much been shooting exclusively on reds, owned reds. So I got a red Komodo, red Helium, I've had a few Scarletts, Gemini. Do
you want to explain what a red camera is for those people who haven't, beginners who are watching the video?
So, aspirations, I guess. This is a red Helium 8K, and it's a cinema camera. It's f***ing expensive, but majority of what you see on TV shows and films will be shot on one of these, or its bigger brother, the Monstro. They're just extremely well built, extremely versatile. 8K resolution, 16 bits of color, 16 stops of dynamic range. But yeah, it's a cinema camera, essentially. We use it here because when we're shooting documentaries, adverts, or sales and VSL adverts, you just can't really beat this. And the fact that it's raw as well, actual proper raw, not like proper raw, means that you can change your metadata in post and have a lot of flexibility in terms of color, white balance, ISO.
That's aspirational level when you are, if you do want to, become a real cinematographer, filmmaker, then that's like what you're aspiring to be. But you can definitely start off with your phone practicing, step up to a little mini camera, then step it up again, maybe again, and then...
Well, Komodo is a nice in between.
And bam, you are ready to shoot some sick videos.
I'm so sorry. If you're enjoying these kind of videos that me and Maiyah are doing, let us know in the comments, give us some love or some hate. We're not biased.
Yeah, no.
Any interaction's good for numbers.
I got a comment on my reels on my own Instagram, just ugly.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Thank you for watching. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Let us know you are enjoying it. If you are too shy to comment, then just give us a thumbs up and hit the notification bell.
Yeah, that's it, man. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next one.
Peace.
Peace.